No one respects a people pleaser. And I should know because I was a fellow people pleaser. And no one respected me. People took advantage of me, took me for granted, used me, underappreciated me. And that also led me to feel resentment towards other people. And so this is why people pleasing ruins relationships. And I spent most of my life not realizing I had this people pleasing mentality. It wasn't until I had a spiritual awakening and I started doing the inner work and the shadow work and I realized this about myself, like I'm a people pleaser. And I had to learn to overcome it, which I have. And what I learned about people pleasing is that people pleasing is actually a manipulative behavior. You might think, how is it manipulative? Well, people pleasers will do nice things for other people. They might give you stuff all the time or constantly offering to help you. And the reason they do that is in the hopes that they get something back. And normally it is their love, validation, and approval. So that's why it's manipulative. You're doing nice things in the hopes that you get their love, validation, and approval back. And the thing is people pick up on this manipulative behavior. The interesting thing about this is once I learned about people pleasing and I overcame it for myself, I started noticing people pleasing in other people where they were people pleasing me, and I could sense this manipulative behavior. For example, I had someone in my life that was just constantly giving me stuff. Like give, like constantly giving me things all the time. And I worked out this person was a people pleaser, but it's almost like it makes you feel like you owe them something because of how much they can just keep giving you. I also had someone else that was constantly asking me, do you need anything? Like constantly trying to help me out where I don't need it, like I can take care of myself, but I sense this people pleasing manipulative behavior off them as well. And it is off-putting. Another thing I learned about people pleasing is where it stems from, which is normally childhood, and it's actually a safety mechanism. So people pleasing can stem from parent pleasing, where as a child, you weren't receiving the love, validation, and approval from your parents, and so you had to act a certain way or do certain things to receive that from your parents. And then as you grow up, you take that into the world with your peers and you start people pleasing with everyone around you. And people pleasing can also stem from childhood wounds. And one of the wounds it can stem from is an abandonment wound. I had multiple abandonment wounds. And there's two types of abandonment. There's physical abandonment, which is where, one or both parents physically aren't around. And there is emotional abandonment, where you are emotionally abandoned. Like as a small child, your emotions are just dismissed. And you don't have like an adult there to just help you deal with your emotions. I had both types of abandonment in my life as a child, and this led me to become a people pleaser. And one of the things that people pleasers do is they constantly abandon themselves to please others. So this is why it can be linked to an abandonment wound. And that's also another reason why, it ruins relationships. You're constantly abandoning yourself to please everyone else. Again, people sense this and they actually start using you. This person never says no. This person has no boundaries. Whenever I need help, they're always there. And that's what gets you used. So it can be beneficial to go back to childhood and look at where this people pleasing may stem from. So because the people pleaser is constantly abandoning themselves to please others in the hope that they get the love, validation, and approval that they're seeking, people pleasers lack boundaries. Boundaries is how you teach people how to treat you. I had no boundaries, and that's why I was being treated I was being used. I wasn't being treated with respect, because people sense this about you. This person never doesn't have boundaries. I can get whatever I want out of them. So the key to overcoming people pleasing is finding out where it stems from. You may have an abandonment wound like I did, and I had to heal this abandonment wound, which I have successfully done now. It takes a little bit of work, but it's worth it. And learning to set boundaries. I had to start teaching myself to set boundaries with other people and to not tolerate crap from others. People pleasers can have a hard time with that because people pleasing was a safety mechanism from childhood. It's like you please everyone around you. You do nice things. You make sure everyone around you's happy, so then you're safe. You're good. So to overcome people pleasing and to be able to set boundaries, you've got to get comfortable with tension. People pleasers avoid the tension to keep themselves safe. They do nice things for others. They please, 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 so I'm safe. And this is where, when you set boundaries, there's going to be tension. And that's why you've got to get comfortable with it. Someone may speak to you in a really rude manner. They might be disrespectful towards you. And normally a people pleaser just accepts it and turns a blind eye. But to overcome that people pleasing, you've then got to set this boundary and let this person know, I don't like being spoken to like that. I don't appreciate that. You're having to stand up for yourself. Of course, it's going to create some tension, but tension is good. Tension is healthy. So get comfortable with tension. And the last tip I'll give you on this that makes it really easy to set boundaries and to get comfortable with tension is to become your own source of love, validation, and approval. When you give yourself those things, you give yourself that love, validation, and approval, you're good. You don't seek it from anyone else. You don't need it from anyone else because you're giving it to yourself. And that is the game changer. That is when you can set boundaries with others and be comfortable with tension because you don't need their love, validation, and approval. You give it to yourself. You're good. Ever since I overcame my people-pleasing mentality, I healed my abandonment wound. I have better relationships in my life. I have better friends in my life. I am treated with respect now. I cut out all the people that don't respect me, or a lot of them that were from the past that knew the old Laura, the old people-pleasing Laura. I cut a lot of them out. I don't talk to them anymore. And I am just treated with more respect now by people that are around me. So it's a huge game changer, and it will really improve your relationships because, like I said, people sense this people-pleasing mentality off you. They sense this manipulative behavior. They sense that you don't have boundaries, and they take advantage, take you for granted, and use you as much as you allow them. So stop allowing them. Be your own source of love, validation, and approval, and it will literally change your life and improve all your relationships. I hope you liked this video and you got some sort of value out of it. And if you did, let me know by hitting the like button or write a comment. And if you like this sort of content, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification. I hope you have an awesome day. Peace.